What is up, everybody? It's Joe from JLW Games coming at you with another cool video, and I'm back in Planet Coaster, and I've done a few videos like this before, but this one I'm feeling really good. This is going to be my smoothing technique for roller coasters in Planet Coaster, and to me it's the best smoothing method there is. Some may disagree that the 4-meter method is going to be better, but if you want a alternative to the 4-meter method that doesn't take 50 hours to just build one roller coaster, then this is the video for you, because this is going to be a, coaster smoothing that you can do. You can create a good coaster from, I don't know, 30 minutes to an hour, depending on how big your roller coaster is. So you can use this on any model that you want. So any type of coaster that you want. It doesn't matter which one you use. For this tutorial, I'm just gonna use this, the F25, which is the B&M sit-down coaster, because I really like this one quite a bit. There's not really a reason why, so it's very, very simple on how all this works. And anyone can figure this out. It's not a very hard thing. So I'm going to go ahead and raise the station up a little bit. We're just going to make a nice, beautiful coaster here that is going to be good. So I'm going to start off with just a little bit of a drop off going into the lift hill. And what I usually do, this is very important too to start off, if you want that heart lining in your coaster. So this isn't just smoothing, but also to make it look realistic with some heart lining, make your rolls have that continuous roll effect and everything like that a lot of people want in the game. This keeps your heart lining very well. So you'll want to go over here to your utility settings on your normal track and make sure you put banking offset all the way up. Now on the 4-meter method, I think you do it about midway, like a little bit, but not that much. But for this one, you're going to want to put it all the way up, because that smooth tool is going to be taking away some of our heart lining. So we want to make sure we're overdoing it big time. So when we do this, you can see how overdone it's going here. And it doesn't really matter what length of your track pieces are. You can do whatever length you want. It really doesn't matter. That's the great part about this method. You can build it kind of the way you want. You can have big pieces, small pieces, whatever fits the visuals that you want for it. So I'm going to go about right here. I do relatively small pieces for the most part, but you don't have to, if that makes sense. You can do larger pieces if you want. I recommend a bit smaller, kind of like small to medium pieces if you want the best results. So we're going to do about right there, and I'm going to go ahead and put in a small friction brake here with an optional catwalk. We're not going for too crazy here. This is just going to be, remember, we're just going to be focused more on the smoothing itself. And then we'll go ahead and create a little lift hill here. This isn't going to be huge. I won't make it a very big ride. It's going to be a relatively small ride. So we'll just go just a little bit over 100 feet. We'll be fine. So this is going to be, I'm going to show you here what you're going to do for these pieces. So for the smoothing, and this is the basic thing you need to know. So you obviously use the 7 feet banking offset, or all the way up. And what you're going to want to do is, when you smooth these segments out, you're going to select 3 track pieces. So you want to do 3 track pieces at once. Doesn't matter how long your length, but it's always going to be 3 track pieces. And you're going to do kind of like the 2 or 4-meter method. You're going to click once, drag it up, click once, and do it going back. And the good thing about this method is you only have to go through smoothing no more than twice. Two times is all you have to do. And that is the really nice thing about this method. So very, very nice. I'm going to do a little bit of a pre-drop. For some reason, people get upset when I do pre-drops, saying B&Ms don't do pre-drops anymore, and I'm like, well, sorry, I want to have a pre-drop on mine. Doesn't mean it had to be built in 2020. I mean, this ride could have been built previous. So let's go ahead and do, let's see, I'm going to go ahead and we're going to bank it just a pinch, just to give that a little bit of effect. I'm going to do this little pre-drop and a turn a little bit here, and we're going to go straight into our drop. This is great for like if you're doing custom inversions, custom elements. This method works fantastic. So what we'll want to do, so drops and everything you can smooth out kind of like normal. So for this little B&M drop, we won't go too steep, around the 60 range. So it's nice, and then we'll level out our drop quite a bit here. So when it's straight sections and stuff, you can just spam the smooth tool if you want, if you want to do that way. You don't have to do the drag and everything like that unless there's turns involved. If there's turns involved, that's when you're going to want to use it the most of the time. So when you're so that's the cool thing about this method. You don't have to, oh, I guess I was still turning. I hate it when I make that mistake. I thought I leveled it out, but I guess I didn't. But anyways, so yeah, when you're doing like drops and stuff, you do not have to continue with the the 3-track selection. You can just smooth it out right away. Like select the whole thing right away. So except for this top part, I did use a little bit of banking and turning, so we are going to do a little bit up here, just like so. So again, you only have to go through twice when you are smoothing, and we're going to get into that example here on our first element, which I'm going to create sort of a Sidewinder, or maybe a Sidewinder, maybe a more of a, yeah, we're going to do like an element here. So we're just going to start building up. I'm going to make sure that daytime stays on so we can see. So we're just going to go up. I might be a little bit too much or not enough. So we're going to go up nice like this. And this tutorial is not about how to create custom inversions, but you can use this if you want. But more so of using the smooth tool, so, or smoothing out elements more than anything. So I'm gonna have to make this a little bit tighter of a and that way it's not too tall. And I'm kind of skimming through this so you guys can just see how smooth that this ends up being. So just keep that in mind that I'm mainly just kind of skimming through the creation process, but you can pretty much make everything nice and smooth. So just for the purposes of the tutorial, I don't want to drag it out too long. I'm just trying to get to the points that I need to here, so I don't waste a lot of your guys' time on how this works. So you're going to mainly see me do this on some of the a lot of the first element here, and then I might not even make a full circuit. I just might show you what I do, because, you know, to be honest, I don't have to make a full circuit for you guys to understand this method, because it's that easy. Like I said, anyone can put this method together and use it if they want to, and it's very simple, and anyone can put it, like, it's easy. So I'm just going to put a couple of pieces here, and then you guys can see how easy it is to use this method. And again, just make sure you're banking offsets on all the time. And I'm going to start about right here, creating, or got my 3 pieces selected. We're going to drag through nice and quick, and you can see how jagged it makes it with that banking offset. And after we go through with our smooth tool here, it's going to smooth it out pretty good. And it usually doesn't get it perfect on the first runabout here, so sometimes we'll go in. And you don't have to complete the whole layout to start smoothing the whole thing out either. If you have if you go from an element to a straightaway section, sometimes I will go from there. That way you don't have to go and smooth for an hour or like, I guess it wouldn't take you an hour, but you can go through each element like this, and again, you just go back and forth, and that's it. So you only have to smooth it out twice. You only have to go through the element about 2 times, and it's good. Sometimes I'll go over 3 times, just depending if I think it needs a little bit more smoothing, but for the most part, you only have to go through your elements twice, and it will keep that heart lining very good. As you can see, this little Sidewinder element, it's more of a Sidewinder than an Immelmann, but you can see how nice the track shapings turned out. And I just threw this together pretty quick, so it's not like, probably not perfect, but again, this is just trying to look at the elements. Now, if you're in your front bumper view, like most POVs, you're gonna get some good smooth transitions here. So you can even see that this is going to be pretty smooth going through the elements. You got your drop, and then going through our Sidewinder, you can see there's not really any jagged. It's all smooth. It is perfectly smooth and not really any jagged when you go through the element. Now, the other element I'm going to show you after this is a 0G roll, because I think that one's one of the most important when it comes to smoothing, and it was the one that I took forever to try and figure out was the 0G roll. And I know a lot of people, or just rolls in general, it doesn't have to be a 0G roll, it could be a barrel roll, 0G roll, anything like that. So that's the other one I'm going to show you guys today, because I had the longest painful time trying to figure out how to make smooth 0G rolls, and now I finally got it. So what you're going to want to do is go up a little bit, depending on how high you want to go, depending on, you know, how much energy you have. Not really anything. And if you want to make everything symmetrical on both sides, just memorize what your angles are going up and down. So I'm at 42 right here, 42 degrees. I'm going to start rotating. So you're going to rotate to 90 as far as it'll let you. And then we're going to level it out at the top here to 180. And then remember, we want to be at 42 when we go down, because that's where we're on the other side. That way it's nice and even. And we will complete our roll here. Just like that. And we're going to start leveling it out a bit. And you can see how jagged and wonky it is at the start here. But with that smoothing method that we have, this is going to be one of the smoothest rolls you'll ever see in Planet Coaster. So here we go. I'm going to start probably roughly around right here. We'll be fine. Again, we're, like I said, select 3 track pieces. And whoops, I accidentally did smooth banking. And yeah, just make sure you're doing smooth all. And drag it through. And you can see, just see the shaping it starts to take once you start going through. And again, just make sure that banking offsets all the way up so it does not get rid of your heart lining. See, even after one run through, it's looking pretty nice. But if you really want the ultimate smoothness, I always recommend going through about 2 times. And just by clicking it once, it is going to be very minimalistic of how much it gets rid of your heart lining on the smoothing. So it by only going through twice, you're going to be keeping that heart lining very, very decently. Like it's going to be pretty good. So after going through twice, you can see, look at that shaping. It looks fantastic for a 0G roll on a B&M. And again, you can do this on any of the coasters. And so yeah, it looks great. It looks smooth. Off-ride, it looks great, but it also matters of what it looks like on-ride. So everyone wants to make sure that it looks smooth on-ride as well. So if we go back into our POV here, going into the pre-drop and the drop itself, and we're going to drop down here, going into our Sidewinder kind of elements. Look at that, glossy smooth. And that 0G roll, a little bit fast. I probably could have made it a little taller, but you can see that there's no jitteriness or anything like that. It is very buttery smooth. If you disagree with me, I mean, that's fine, but like I feel this is almost, if not better, than the 4 meter method. you're gonna be spending way less time smoothing out your coasters and stuff using this way. And in some way, I think there were some smoothing updates to the smooth tool at one point from Frontier to make it a little bit easier, and that makes this method a lot easier since they've had that update. So in my personal opinion, I think they did have some updates to kind of help with the smoothing. It's not perfect yet, but we can finally smooth our coasters out decently. And I still think this is a good method. Even if you go into the seat view, I think it's still pretty decent in the seat view. I think it's a little little bit more jittery in the seat view, but you always want to do your POVs from the front view. So yeah, it's a little jittery in the seat view, quite a bit actually, in certain points, especially on the rolls. So just make sure you're doing your POVs from the bumper view like everyone else does. And you'll be golden. So if you're like making videos, definitely go the bumper view. Seat view has always been jittery, and I don't think there's any sort of method that can change that. Even the 4-meter method, the seat view is terrible. So in my opinion, this is the best smoothing method there is out there. If you don't like it, stick to your 4-meter method, and spend 30 hours on just building your coaster layout. So if you want to do that, but this is a great alternative I have found if you just want to create a coaster fast but also looks great and also has a smooth POV. So but you keep that heart lining, as you can see, like it looks fantastic. You can see how it leads over to the other side a little bit to give you that little heart lining effect. Is it 100% perfect? Probably not, but like you can still see visually that it looks fantastic. The RMC looks great as well. Like I said, I could have made this a little bit taller since it was a little bit on the smaller end, and that's why it rolls through it pretty quickly. But I hope you guys learned something with the smooth tool. I wanted to share it with you guys because I know a lot of people hate spending 10 hours on a coaster layout using the 4-meter method, and I personally dislike the 4-meter method. I don't like it at all, and I don't think it is very beneficial. So I came up with this method, and it was probably like a year in the making trying to figure out this method, but it works the best for me. Again, just select 3 pieces, go through your element back and forth, and that's it. And that's all you have to do. You don't have to go through it 8 times, because if you do that, it actually ruins it. And it actually smooths these elements out quite nicely. So I hope you guys enjoyed. Let me know in the comments section if this helped you out a lot. If it didn't, I'm sorry I wasted your time. But if you disagree with this method, then that's totally okay. I'm going to keep using this method, and I think it's the best method out there that I've figured out. So, and it looks beautiful off-ride as well. So, anyways, I hope you guys, again, learned something with this, and I will catch you guys in the next video. Thanks so much for joining. Have a great day and an even cooler tomorrow. Thanks, and goodbye.